Moana 2 is a disaster. No! They got actual TikTokers to write the songs for this movie. That's ironic. The animation somehow got worse over 8 years, and the pacing, the editing, why is it so choppy? Well, I can tell you there's good reason for all of this, and we're about to get into it. Starting off with the animation. The animation was bad because it wasn't animated by Walt Disney Animation Studios proper. It was animated by their brand new studio in Vancouver, which was specifically designed to create Disney Plus content for lower costs. This means in Moana 2, the boundaries of animation just wasn't pushed in the same way it usually is in a new Disney movie. The water isn't as dynamic. The characters aren't as expressive. The lighting isn't as natural. So yeah, that's an easy one. The animation isn't as good because they gave this movie to the Disney Plus studio. But why? As I'm sure you've already heard by now, Moana 2 was meant to be a Disney Plus series originally, which definitely explains the pacing issues. But first, a little bit of background. In 2020, it was announced that Moana, the series, had started production and was to be released on Disney Plus. But a tragedy struck because as time went on, it turned out that Disney Plus wasn't really the best moneymaker. And on top of that, Disney Animation's last 4 movies did really badly at the box office. Wish, Strange World, Encanto, Raya, and The Lost Dragon, they all made less than $250 million. Which, yeah, I know, that's a big number, but it's bad for a Disney animated movie. And seeing as the first Moana did really well at the box office and was beloved by pretty much everyone, Bob Iger, CEO of Disney, made the decision to turn the series into a movie. I mean, he said we were impressed with what we saw and knew it deserved a theatrical release. But in reality, yeah, he just wanted some money. Why did I laugh like that? So yeah, they compressed a series with multiple episodes into a 1 hour, 40-minute movie. Things were obviously gonna feel compressed, jumbled, cut, episodic, because what we got isn't what they were planning on. The directors say it themselves.
What the series gave us was an opportunity to get to know these characters intimately the way you can with the series.
There were songs that you did for the Disney Plus series that are unreleased. Do you know if there's any plan for those songs to be heard by fans?
I actually have no idea.
I don't know.
See, they had to cut like everything. Real, purposeful, creative decisions the directors made to serve the original story just had to be stripped away to fit the 1 hour, 40-minute time frame. And that's why the pacing is bad. And who knows, maybe the show was just bad originally anyways. Like, all 3 of the directors had never directed anything before. One of them has never even worked in animation. Also, it was made for Disney Plus. Everything on Disney Plus kind of sucks, except for X-Men 97 and the last season of Clone Wars. Those are the only 2 things. Everything else is terrible. Fight me on that. And the story probably was originally designed to be more kiddie and smaller in scale because, yeah, again, Disney Plus is where this would be airing. Obviously, all that might not mean anything, but something to think about. But speaking of not meaning anything, let's talk about the music. Critics are saying that the songs are just mediocre and that they all feel like poor imitations of what Lin-Manuel Miranda did with the first movie. And that's probably because he didn't work on this one. That's either because this was originally a show, and let's be honest, he's kind of above that, or he's preoccupied with the live-action Moana movie they're doing. But whatever the reason, he couldn't do this movie. Instead, they got 2 TikTokers. Their names are Emily Bear and Abigail Barlow. It might be slightly unfair to call them TikTokers. They've done many other things and are super accomplished, but it's also not entirely inaccurate. Their huge claim to fame was making an unofficial music album for Bridgerton on TikTok. They live streamed the development of like multiple songs and then months later released the entire album. And what's crazy is they won a Grammy for this. They won a Grammy for TikToks, bro. I'm sure they're good. Don't get me wrong, they want a Grammy. But, I mean, you're gonna give Moana 2 to TikTokers? I don't want to be mean, these people are young and incredibly accomplished and would have been a perfectly valid choice if this stayed as a TV series. But when you're following up Lin-Manuel Miranda in a highly anticipated sequel to a beloved Disney animated movie, maybe you should get someone a little more experienced. It would have been sad if they just kicked them off when they turned it from a series to a movie, so I'm glad they didn't do that, but they never should have made this into a movie. All of the problems kind of stem from that decision. So, yeah, blame Bob Iger. He's dumb. Or is he? This movie's doing so well, it's crazy. And unfortunately, that's actually really bad for us. Bob Iger and Disney will start to question if pushing the boundaries of animation with every single film, hiring the best songwriters of our generation, and creating a satisfying story is even worth it. When Moana 2, a film that does none of that, does better than their last 4 films. If any of what I said in this video scared you, don't see Moana 2. Otherwise, there's A lot more on the way. Subscribe to join the movement.